And let's talk about another part of this story. NRS correspondent Michelle Greenstein joins us now with a look at what they are proposing about this.
Well, the president is proposing that the federal government and social media companies work together to stop mass shootings before they happen.
So it's social media's fault.
That is one thing that the president is trying to call attention to. Let's take a listen.
Thank you.
The perils of the internet and social media cannot be ignored, and they will not be ignored. I am directing the Department of Justice to work in partnership with local, state, and federal agencies, as well as social media companies, to develop tools that can detect mass shooters before they strike.
So we're going after Facebook, I imagine, right?
That's right. We're going after all these giant social media companies. What's notable, Rick, is that Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, which is owned by Google, say that they're already detecting and deleting what they call terrorist content. So I want to take you to this House Homeland Security Committee that convened earlier this summer. Let's take a look at what a Facebook executive had to say. She's the VP of Global Engagement at Facebook.
Right.
There's absolutely no place on Facebook for terrorists. They're not allowed to use our services under any circumstances. We remove their accounts as soon as we find them. We also remove any content that praises or supports terrorists or their actions. And if we find evidence of imminent harm, we promptly inform authorities.
So what's notable is that she's in charge of combating terrorism at Facebook. She says that Facebook's using artificial intelligence, that they've already taken action against 25 million pieces of terrorist content just since last year, and that there are 30,000 people working on just security across Facebook, and that actually includes former intelligence officials. She also said that Facebook works regularly with government officials. But let's move on to Twitter. Let's listen to the strategist for public policy at Twitter. Let's listen to what he had to say about terrorist content and misinformation.
All right.
Twitter takes a zero-tolerance approach to terrorist content on our platform. Individuals may not promote terrorism, engage in terrorist recruitment, or terrorist acts. We prohibit the use of Twitter by violent extremist groups. These are defined in our rules as groups who, whether by their statements on or off the platform, promote violence against civilians or use violence against civilians. Where any of these rules are broken, we will take action to remove the content and will permanently remove those who promote terrorism or violent extremist groups from Twitter.
Sounds like a serious guy. How can he not be serious with a name like Nick Pickles, right?
Right, and he says that they've already suspended 1.5 million accounts since 2015. And in terms of violent extremist groups, they've permanently suspended over 2,000 accounts. Now, from Google, we heard from the Global Director of Information Policy. He talked about hate speech, terrorism, and misinformation. Let's take a listen.
We are deeply committed to working with government, the tech industry, and experts from civil society and academia to protect our services from being exploited by bad actors. On the topic of combating misinformation, we have a natural long-term incentive to prevent anyone from interfering with the integrity of our products. We have worked hard to curb misinformation in our products, and our efforts include designing better ranking algorithms, implementing tougher policies against monetization of misrepresentative content, and deploying multiple teams that identify and take action against malicious actors.
Now, this all sounds very serious, but there are plenty of anti-establishment voices out there that are saying that this partnership between the government and these social media platforms could actually be pretty dangerous. But I'm intentionally going to show you kind of an establishment voice. This is the former head of the ACLU, and here's what she had to say about this partnership that we're seeing emerge. She says these concepts of hate speech, terrorist content, and misinformation are all irreducibly vague and broad. Therefore, they have to be enforced according to the subjective discretion of the enforcing authorities. Now, who are these enforcing authorities? Well, it's notable that all three of these platforms, in addition to Microsoft, are part of what's called the Global Internet Forum, which was founded 2 years ago to work together to curtail terrorism. But this is a forum that's in partnership with the Brookings Institution, which is a neoconservative pro-war think tank that pushes for war with Iran, among other countries, as well as the International Institute for Counterterrorism, which is an Israeli think tank. So are these the entities that we want to decide what is or isn't information?
So we'll blame it on social media. That way we can control social media so we can keep a better eye on you, in other words, right?
That's right. It should also be noted that many of these social media companies are in partnerships with the Atlantic Council, which has been called NATO's unofficial think tank, takes money from NATO's Saudi Arabia, Charles Koch, weapons contractors, oil companies, all entities that have historically been pro-war.
Let's just ask ourselves this question. If the real problem for these mass shootings were social media, why are they only happening in the United States? Because every single one of those social media entities you just mentioned is in almost every country in the world. But we're the only ones who have the social media. Process of elimination, I call BS. Thank you for that report. Well, so you haven't heard that we're the ones covering the stories that you won't see covered anywhere else? In Venezuela, Kazakhstan. Let's go to Hong Kong. And the media reaction to that has been crickets. How about the way we cover those stories? What the hell does that mean? Huawei, Huawei, Huawei. That's the key word in this case, uprising. Keep? Can you believe that? Watching. This is the right thing for members of the media to do, to actually pick sides. Look, if you like what you see, subscribe.